All right, we're good. We're good. Good morning, real closers. Good morning. This is Roberto Salas with John DeSmedt. If you remember, John was with us. What was it, John? A few weeks back?
Correct. About 6 weeks ago.
About 6 weeks ago, and we talked about FISBOs. We talked about expireds. He even dropped a few nuggets on scripts that you could use to convert calls to actual conversations, right? They say that you have to kind of get that hook in the beginning to make sure that you get that conversation going. Otherwise, they hang up on you, right?
Right.
And today, I actually wanted to, get John back online because last week he did a live on his feed that caught my attention. And what he did was, we're always consistently doing this thing of what are we doing? What do we need to do? Let's make a list. Let's make a to-do list. But then John, had a different spin to that. And it was, why don't we create a list of things we need to stop doing? Right. So John, why don't you just tell us a little bit more about that and how it actually helps us to grow in our business?
Yeah, I'd be glad to, Roberto. Thank you again for having me on. So what I've noticed here, and I did a precursor to this video earlier this year, and it got a really good response as well. So here I just kind of added a little bit to it and just kind of tweaked it a little bit, I guess you could say. So, in an age that we're in, where everybody's about time blocking and shifting and time management, and the biggest one to me is multitasking. Everybody always has another to-do list, another set of responsibilities, another brand new set of obligations. Well, if you look close, very few of these lists ever get stayed with, let alone finished and completed, because there's so many other distractions. So I got to thinking, I'm big on time blocking, and I'll be the first one to tell you that. But while we're time blocking, we need to be doing what we're supposed to be doing during that time block. Otherwise, time blocking kind of goes right out the window. So to-do lists mean well, but if you don't do it and you don't follow through it, it means absolutely nothing. Right. So I created a thought, why don't we create a stop doing list? So these are things that we notice, we recognize each and every day that are a deterrent to our productivity. And I even made a short list here, and I get as guilty as everybody else because we're all trying to do so much so fast at once, right? So like visit unnecessary computer sites when we're not supposed to be, like whether you follow sports or whatever it is, run into the bank, run into the post office, taking and making unnecessary phone calls in the middle of productive time. Okay, walking through stores in the middle of the day when we shouldn't be doing that. The biggest violator is multitasking. You can't multitask. You have to be laser focused on one thing at a time. And it's been proven over and over, multitask just slows down the whole process. Now, the biggest one, and you heard me mention this, Roberto, in my video, was scrolling. They're doing studies now on people, whether they're scrolling on their computer or on their phone. People are not scrolling seconds or minutes each day. They're scrolling hours, scrolling. TikTok. So they're just so married to their phone or their computer, they can't get away from scrolling. So hours a day. Now, can you imagine what that eats up in a week, in a month, in a year over skills and activities they should be focusing on? It's just mind-boggling to me. So, I teach a pretty successful coaching series now for real estate agents, and we are what I call, instead of time management or time blocking, I think the term now needs to be focus management. So you and I can get anybody any day to say, okay, from 9 to 11, from 2 to 4, from 1 to 3, you're going to be time blocking, set that time aside to do whatever. Well, if they're not doing the whatever during that time, it goes right out the window. So let's not only time block, but let's laser focus on the activities that are critical in our each and every day of our working lives and see what a gigantic difference that makes. So I think the whole thing of multitasking is just so out the window. It just slows everything right down. You can't do 7 things at once. That's been proven, dozens and dozens of times. So I think focus management, set the time aside, but within that time, what should we really be focusing on? And I think it's a gigantic windfall of a great difference. I mean, just a little bit of an adjustment each and every day makes a gigantic difference over a week, a month, several months. And that's why I call it, let's jot down a stop doing list. Even, I hate to say it, unnecessary eating, unnecessary, these are all like nervous energy, bad habits. Let's cut that stuff out. And then to that point, like you and I, when we first turned on here, my next one's going to be just say no. I'm going to do a live video and we're going to call it just say no. And if you think about it, every time we turn on our phone, turn on our computer, turn on our TV, everybody is constantly trying to sell us something. Buy this, order that, subscribe to this, enroll in that. If we spend half that time, that would take up half of a day. You know what I mean? So you got to just put your foot down and just say no. Let's just do what we need to do and only what we need to do, and say politely no thanks to the rest of it. And I think it makes a gigantic difference. So all my coaching clients, and I do, what I advocate, we track like 8 different levels of activities each and every day, each and every week. And the difference in productivity has been just staggering just in the first 30 days. We tried this. So, it's a game of results, but there's so many, what do we call shiny toys out there nowadays?
The shiny object syndrome.
Yeah, it's just so endless. And then here in real estate, the new agents, they're constantly getting distracted. They don't know what to pay attention to, what to buy, what to ignore, what to focus on. There's so many shiny toys. It's a deterrent rather than something that's helpful. So that's kind of the point.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Let's play a quick game for those who are still with us. In the comments, if you were to do a stop doing list, put some of the things that you think you could get rid of in order to increase your productivity. I mean, I'm guilty myself. Like, the scrolling.
Yeah.
I do a lot of scrolling to kind of find content that I can use to create more content. But sometimes you do get caught up in, hey, this is a quick video.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, 5 minutes, 10 minutes,
Yeah.
15 minutes, and those are things that I could have used to actually maybe either read a little book, pay attention to a podcast, or
That's
something,
it.
right? Something that it could increase just different things, right? And again, chasing that little shiny object every single time.
Yeah.
It's key, because the thing is, a lot of us try new things, but then we don't try them enough, or we don't, like you said, laser focus on that activity long enough over a period of time where we just don't get results. And then we're like, oh, this doesn't work. Let's move on to the next thing.
Yeah. Just like prospecting. Yeah. Just like when you and I first spoke, there's a real science to how to prospect for listings. And why 95% of agents don't like prospecting is they've never really been taught how to do it and make it a repeatable exercise that you can do it every day and every week and really get really good at it and really have a lot of fun with it. If you try anything once or twice and it doesn't work and you give up, like you said, that's not fair. It's not going to happen. You got to put the time in, and then the results start to come. But no, I think you make a great point, Roberto. Yeah, you got to stay with it.
Awesome. Yeah, for sure. For sure. So, hey, it was nice, getting you back online here.
Thanks, Roberto. You as well.
And we're discussing that we're going to try to see if we can bring these little nuggets, once a week, once every couple of weeks. We'll bring John back every now and then, and we'll continue to bring value to you guys. If there's anything you guys are looking for specifically. Now, John, if you guys missed the interview that we had with John about listings, either just go back in time on the feed, keep scrolling until you find us, do a search for his name, or I'll probably post the link to our YouTube video that we put it on YouTube. We'll put it in the comments. And if you guys want that again, and maybe, you know, spin a little bit and talk more about expireds, FISBOs, put it in the comments and we'll bring John if John is open to it.
Absolutely. Anything I can do to help.
All right. Awesome, John. Thank you so much.
Thanks again, Roberto. Great to see you. Have a great day.
Same. Have a great day too. Bye.
Okay.